Then there are luminaries, wise elderly statesmen that we have, like Joe Biden, the elderly man pretending to be president. And he was asked what he thought about these Supreme Court decisions with all his incredible wisdom. Take a look.
Did you overstep your authority?
I think the court misinterpreted the Constitution.
Mr. President, do you admit failure in Afghanistan?
I get it. He's mind muddled and whatever. He knows they didn't misinterpret the Constitution. Where in the Constitution does it say if you take out loans that the government should be able to wipe away those loans? Where in the Constitution does it say that schools should be allowed to discriminate against people? That would be against the Constitution because we have individual rights. You get it with the Colorado website designer. Where does in the Constitution does it say you should force people to use their artistic skills in a way that you wish that they could? It's everything they say is nonsense. That's why it's never detailed. It's never nuanced, right? It's these broad sweeping statements. Show me. I'm trying here to give you like the specifics. Well, what is in the Constitution? Individual rights are in the Constitution, right? Free speech is in the Constitution, for example, the right to bear arms, the right to peaceably assemble, et cetera, et cetera. There are things that are specifically in there, but they take things that are not in there. Abortion. And then if you kick it back to the states, which is in the Constitution, if it's not in the Constitution, you leave it up to the states, not up to the federal government. These are all, see, the problem also is that they don't care about any of these things. Like we can all talk about how the thing is supposed to work. We can talk about what's in the Constitution. We can talk about what's in the Bill of Rights and all of those things. But the more that it goes against their agenda, to them, that's more fuel to the fire to burn down these documents and all of our institutions in the first place. But some other things have happened over the last couple of days that are also kneecapping Joe Biden's authoritarian, to use AOC's word, agenda. Here is a federal judge now has issued an order that the executive agencies, the CIA, FBI, et cetera, they are no longer allowed to collude with big tech companies to censor you. I thought that was sort of baked into the whole freaking thing already, but we know over the last couple of years it's not. Here's a little more on that.
Federal judge says the Biden administration may have violated the First Amendment during the pandemic by censoring social media posts. Justice correspondent David Spunt reports live from the D.C. newsroom. David, what can you tell us?
Hi, Jillian. This is a temporary injunction, not a final ruling. However, this temporary injunction could have major implications on free speech. It came down today on a federal holiday from a federal judge in Louisiana. Judge Terry Doughty blocked officials and agencies in the Biden administration from communicating with social media companies, think Facebook, Google, Twitter, about the topic of protected speech.
Okay, so before we get to what they've done in the past, what this judge just did with this temporary injunction is fantastic, right? We know that the CIA, the FBI, the intelligence agencies, that they were working with tech companies. We know that. I've showed you a billion clips of all of that, right? Jen Psaki, we flagged posts for Facebook at the height of COVID. We now know through the Twitter files that there were 8 government agents literally working at Twitter. Some of them may still work there now, so God only knows how many of them work at Facebook and YouTube and everything else. Once a government agent is doing something with a big tech organization to censor you or to imply censorship, there were also emails leaked where government agents were basically saying, we know this from Mark Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan. We've shown you that clip. Where Zuckerberg said, a little bit before the Hunter Biden story broke, we got word from the government that something was coming and we should just cool it. So we did what we could, right? So they have absolutely infringed on my First Amendment right to free speech and your First Amendment right to free speech.